Hi students, welcome to the risk analysis of AT Football Club. Now, as you are aware that risk is a sure question in the exam day, you have to ensure that you think real like a risk manager and use the exhibit data. The purpose of this video is to give you a guidance on how you have to condition your mind to think in the examination. Now, if you observe, these are the risk which is given in the pre-scene and these are the general industry risk. Now we have to make sure as a risk manager, suppose if we are facing, how are we going to handle this risk? So the first risk they have mentioned is loss of income through poor performance by men's first team and consequently lower match attendance by supporters and less prize money. Now the performance level, 15 years, AT Football Club has not won the KFL league. Also, for 8 years, AT Football Club has not qualified to Intercontinental League. That is the Wokian Intercontinental League. Now, students, this is a track record which we can observe very well. And now, based on this historical records, we can say the probability is high. Now, this is what the examiner wants from the students in the exam. You have to always explain a why and why do you think so. Your judgment, your skepticism should be very much focused to the examiner's point of view. Now, students, the impact. Financial impact is high. Financial impact is high because we are losing the prize money. The lower the rate, the lower the price. Also, this can affect other incomes as well, like broadcasting rights and also the merchandising as well. Get this clearly. So I can say impact is high. And we are facing this at the moment. The reason is we are 8th out of 18 teams. And also risk of relegation is high. Risk of relegation is high. Consider that perspective very, very clearly because that is very, very important as well. Can the issue be managed or it's an inherent risk? It's not an inherent risk because yes, this can be managed. This can be managed. This can be managed. Very, very important factor. Now, the next thing that you have to keep in mind is how. You have to tell the how also. Time and investment. You need time and investment because this industry, time is a very precious asset. Since players and coaches needs to be aligned and sometimes we can invest also in good coaches and good team and also good systems. Also good systems. And one thing students, we don't have any systems placed in our business. So this is one risk we have analyzed and how we can manage it, but it's a high level risk. Competition from other club for prize money, supporters, commercial sponsors, and recruiting the players, management and coaching staff. Now, again, it's a risk of rivalry. So rivalry risk is high. Reason is 18 teams in a division, understand it very well, by 3 divisions specifically on men's. So effectively that is coming to an answer of 54 teams in total. And more than threat of new entrant, the biggest threat is threat of relegation. Because already there are a high number of teams. So the competitive rivalry is very high. We can get relegated anytime, provided our performance is going down. And at the moment it is moderate because we are at 8th place. We are at 8th place, but still, This is very challenging. The financial impact, if you observe, very high. Financial impact is very high, because definitely we may lose money, and the strategic impact is also high because our long-term strategy also will get affected because of good players taken by another team. That is one factor to be considered. Now, how can this be managed? Is this an inherent risk? No. Yes, this needs proper team managers and also experienced mentors, because students, we are 100 years organization. What about our senior players? That is a question mark. What about our retired players? Because that is a question mark that you have to keep in mind, because we have to use them a talent management process. The next one, problems with commercial sponsors leading to non-renewal of contract. It's like a default, but I can say it's not a default because they pay on my time and they have to renew it. So commercial sponsors not renew. Now in this case, if I'm very clear, probability probability depends on team popularity, because team popularity is a very important factor, because it's not the performance, it's the popularity, because certain teams can always lose, like Royal Challengers Bangalore, but the popularity is very high. When they say Isala Cup namte, there's a high popularity, but still it depends on the popularity. So please get that understanding very well. The probability depends on the team popularity. Now the financial impact depends on the commercial sponsor, begins on the commercial sponsor. Who is the commercial sponsor that is getting affected? That is very important. Fundamentally, that is crucial also. And mitigation, if you observe in this case, can this be mitigated? Yes, up to a limit, because the independence level of commercial sponsor is not controllable. So I'll write down here, not controllable. So we have to make sure proper marketing campaigns are conducted, because marketing campaigns are very important, are conducted in order to ensure there is a popularity, because popularity is a very important factor in this applied thinking. So get that point of view very well. Now, the next one, departure of key players, management, and coaching staffs to other club. Now, this is uncontrollable, but we can have a departure of team. Probability high, because as usual, when the money is coming into the picture, anyone can go. Probability is high. And financial impact, of course, financial impact is high. Good players leaving. Can this be managed? Yes, legal contracts, but there will be some compliance requirement like NOC, no objection clause, by the Kyle Football Association and the Kyle Football League. There will be like that. So you have to be very careful with the regulatory bodies involved in that. Loss of key players due to serious injury, probability moderate, because we are professionals. Not every time they will become injured. It's a moderate risk. A financial impact, yes, we would have invested on them, is high in case. Yes, how you can manage it? One is good medical facilities. We can effectively make sure the players are recovered, or reserve team players can be utilized. That is one more thing. And we can ensure that they are also very much skilled by giving them proper training and systems. Fall in income from television contract due to decreasing appeal of football or impact of illegal live streaming. Probability moderate, but it can change over anytime. Probability moderate. The illegal live streaming, you can't do anything because there is a control only. So financial impact is high, but when it comes to the mitigation, accept it as inherent, because These pirated video streamings are anyway cannot be controlled. Therefore, make sure that the platforms are used, like the apps. Platforms are used because we have an app actually, but we have to make sure the platforms are used well also. The next one, threats to income from other business seeking sponsorship, other sports and entertainment events, and alternative forms of corporate hospitality. Now, again, it looks very direct like the impact that came previously. Again, it depends on the popularity. Damage to the club brand. So, probability is moderate. Every time it can happen, not low, moderate. Financial impact is high, as usual. It is high. It is high because money is always getting affected. What you can do, invest on local public relationship. Public relationship. Fan base is very important. Is important. Anything can happen, but this it takes time, but it will recover slowly. Negative media coverage of personal lives of players, probability high because anyway that cannot be controlled, but financial impact is low. Why I say low is it will be just a small hype only. Unless there is a very serious issue, it's low because people will forget it and they will come to watch the matches again. And I can effectively say, make the boundaries clear. Make the boundaries clear. Make the boundaries clear. We have to make the boundaries clear and also ensure that the players are guided with code of conduct because it is very very essential. And the next thing is health and safety risk, probability high. Can there be an academic pandemic, sorry, can there be a pandemic in the exam? Maybe, we don't know. Maybe. So I'll write down here COVID. I'll just mention here COVID, but they have told don't think in that. But COVID time, it was challenging. Financial impact will be high because it's very challenging when there are social distancing protocols is high. um, need to accept, follow the protocols, follow the protocols. That is the systems in place. And the last one, just to make sure, is security risk arising from poor behavior of of fans or the supporters. Probability moderate. Again, it depends on how they have organized it. Probability moderate. Financial impact is moderate. Financial impact is moderate. It's not a bigger issue considering the money they pay because they forget it. But the thing is, organize events well, and make sure there is a proper systems placed because that makes a very very important thing, event organizing. And then financial risks such as interest rate, liquidity, and solvency. Probability macro risk controllable, uncontrollable because government and economy. Probability depends on external environment. We don't know any data about that because there can be economic recessions, anything taking place. So we have to make sure the ticket prices are managed and controlled. And financial impact depends. Financial impacts again depends. Financial impact depends. Financial impact depends. Joint cartel because you have to form a cartel agreement between joint cartel between the players, between the teams and KFA to manage such a situation. So I believe that you have understood how to analyze the risk. Mitigation, certain risks cannot be mitigated. Like example, during the COVID, we understood COVID cannot be completely eliminated, but we need to take vaccines and somewhat manage it. Wear mask and somewhat manage it. But there are situations which you have to accept, like road accidents. Anyway happens. You can't control it. Inherent. If you have a car, it will get accident for sure. One day. God protects, but one day. So understand the thinking well and just keep this as a model on how you have to apply in the exam. And also, students, just make sure I have just uploaded one real life football risk assessment. You can just go through this also. It gives you a practical analysis on how the real life assessments are done. So thank you, students.